Hi everyone, it's Fiona again, and today I'm going to decided I wanted to alter some playing cards. So because I'm planning on hosting a altered playing card swap in my group, Facebook group, which I will link below. And so I'm just going to do some, and I thought I would show you some examples of how you can do this. And these ones are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, which is also a standard ATC size, artist trading card size, which are just little works of art that you do on a card that size, and you can trade them with each other. So it'll be an altered playing card swap, but you can also just make your own little ATC cards, just using a piece of cardstock or whatever you like. So I have a few little elements that I'm going to work with today. So I've got these little butterflies that I've cut out and inked up, and these are from a new printable that I have in my shop. I just put up there yesterday. So you've got 20 little butterflies on that sheet there, just with little bits of ephemera, and I will link those below also. I've also got a little sheet here that I made up with some images that I'm going to be using and some little words, and that is going to be your Freebie Friday printable tomorrow on my Facebook group. So if you wanted to use the same images and words that I'm using, you can, and there's a few extra little words on there as well. Okay, but to start off with, there's so many different ways you can do this, okay, but I'm just going to do these ones kind of the same, but one of them will probably be a little bit different. So I was going to start off with, I have some old sewing pattern paper here. So I'm going to start off with, on a couple of them, just laying this down and gluing it down. So I'll just rip out a couple of pieces to fit, just roughly. I'm not very good at ripping in a straight line. But if you just find an interesting piece with, you know, some writing or something on it that you think would look good as a background, that's what I normally do. I might just cut this bit actually. This bit here. And then the third one, I'm going to do something a little bit different, which I shall show you. Okay, so if you don't have the old sewing patterns, or you can also buy tracing paper that's already sort of printed on or stamped on. I know Tim Holtz has some papers like that you can buy in a roll. I don't have any of those, so basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a sheet of baking paper, but this is you can use the white one as well, but I have this you know, this coloured one that's it's sort of already sort of a brownish colour. So I thought I would just use this and stamp on it myself. So I have a background stamp here, which is like a dictionary stamp. And it's an old stamp that I got from Stampin' Up a few years ago. So I'm just going to ink that up with some black ink. And stamp a bit of a background. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm doing mixed media, a lot of it gets covered up anyway, and you just have little bits here and there poking through. So I'm just making sure I haven't got the smooth side. Because I don't think it would stamp as well on the smooth side. Okay, so you can only just, you might not even be able to see that on the camera. As it turned out very dark, so I'm going to try and darken that up a bit. Okay, so that's a little bit better. It's very small writing. Not sure if you can see that, but it's on there. And I'm just going to stamp a couple of little things over the top of that. I have some vintagey stamps here that I quite like using. So I've got some little words here. Stamp that. It's actually not coming out quite as well as I hoped, and I'd say that's because it is a little bit of a shiny surface, but it's a start and it's okay, because once I glue this down, I'll be doing more stamping over the top of the surface anyway. And I've got this little round one here that I really love. I'm going to use this one as well, or I might just do it after, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I think I know what I'm going to do. I'll glue this down first. And then I'm going to put a little bit of gesso over the top as well, but I'll just show you. Out the way. Okay, so I'm going to be using my PVA glue that I've mixed with water, which gives me a similar thing to Mod Podge. I'm just going to put it on my surface and apply it with a brush. Okay. Plenty of glue there to make sure it all sticks properly. And then just place it wherever you want it, and then get an old credit card or something similar just to smooth out all the air bubbles. see that it's a pretty cool effect because you can still actually see the card through there. And I'm going to put a little bit more glue on the side, on the corners here. Okay, that's that one. And I'm just going to glue the other ones down. Basically, you're just going to glue them down and let them dry. Sometimes it helps to use a little bit of sandpaper on the surface of your card if you're worried about things not sticking properly or your cards are extra shiny or something. But I think this is going to work out okay. Seems to be sticking fine. It depends really what you're going to do on your surface. And using gesso as a primer if you're going to be painting. But because we're using the paper as a backing, we don't necessarily need the gesso as a primer. And this one that I stamped. You can see some of the ink lifting off these cards. That's okay. And we'll glue this one down. So basically now that we've done this, I need to go ahead and let these dry, or you can give them a bit of a dry off with your heat tool or hair dryer, whatever you have. So I'll just let these dry and I'll come back. Hi, so I'm back and I'm just cutting, these are dry, so I'm just cutting the paper off around the edges. Getting as close as I can. I don't mind if the edges are a little bit raggedy because I like the distressed look anyway, and I'm going to be distressing them up with ink. Okay, that one. So I'm going to add a little bit of gesso. This one a little bit more because it's going to be done differently. So I'll start with this one, and this is just gesso from Jo Sonja. I'll put that on just fairly lightly with a brush. Might leave the edges a little bit. Oh, that one's got a nice base there now. just put this one aside because I'll work on that one later. These ones, I think I want to add a bit more water because I want to be able to see through it a bit more. And I'm just going to put bits here and there with my finger. I'll brush it on and sort of smear it around with my finger. Only a little bit here and there. This one. And you don't have to do this step, I just wanted to add a bit of variety in there. And it usually dries fairly quickly, so you shouldn't have to wait too long for that to dry. So now I'm going to do a little bit more stamping, and this time I'm going to use my my sepia ink, which is the VersaFine ink, and it's permanent. So because you're using mixed media and you're using, you know, like a wet glue over the top, you're probably better off using a permanent ink. You can use your Tim Holtz Distress inks, but just keep in mind that they will probably smear when you put the glue over the top. And you can also use Mod Podge for this, by the way, and decoupage glue if you want to. But I'm just going to do, yeah, a little bit more stamping. I've got like this little number stamp here, that numbers and words, what is it? Can't remember what it is, but I just like to add that here and there. So once again, we're adding some background. If you can see that there. Next I'm going to go in with that little round one I had again. Have some little French words on this one here, so I'll put those on. So this is obviously what we call mixed media. You can see that. That's what we've done so far. So now what I want to do is I want to do some inking up, which to add some colour. I'm going to use my tea dye distress ink and my, I think it's walnut stain. So I'll use my walnut stain around the edges because it's the darker one, and then my tea dye one in the centre. And this is where it's better off if you did have a permanent ink for your stamping. So just make sure it's dry, and I'm going to come in with the tea dye. Just grunge it up here. This one. Now we're using the walnut stain. And towards the end I'll probably go around with a bit of black ink as well, because I do have a fair bit of black underneath, and it's quite stark compared to the rest of it, so I think a little bit of black ink will frame it really well. So the next thing I want to do is a bit of collaging. And I have some old book page here. I'm going to rip that into a strip. And then some old music paper here, or coffee dyed. So these are just extra elements now that I'm going to put underneath my when I add my main image. So just like to sort of mess around with how it looks before I glue it all down. And I will ink the edges of these as well. Make this one a little bit thinner. I don't want to cover it up completely, but I just want that to be a little backdrop there. Okay, so I'll ink these up with a little bit of walnut stain. Which you might really like, it's not quite as dark as it should be. Okay. And I like that because see a little Q there, so you know it's a queen, and the little writing, little queen and a little spade down there as well. So that one. And of course you don't have to do this if you don't want to, you might just put your name for it when you drop it up there. This one is smaller. Okay, that's all stressed up. And another thing you can use if you want to, just to show you, you can use some washi tape. Where did I put my washi tape? I did get out some washi tape. Sure where it's gone. Yeah, well, you can use washi tape as well. If you have some little pieces of tape matching and put them across. I'm not sure where it went. I got it out already, and now it seems to have disappeared. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sorry. So I have one here with a little bit of music shade on it, and then a little French one as well. I might use it, I'm not sure yet, but I'll glue these down first. Okay, so a little bit of glue on this one. And you want to put glue or the decoupage glue when you're using it on top as well, because that's what's going to seal it. It's going to seal all your papers on. So for each layer, put some glue on the top and then let it dry. I tend to like to use the layering. Some people think, well, why should you don't have it just coming up? But that's the beauty of this video, when you do layering, that you sort of know what the final thing should look like, but you still got some layers of the next one through. I'm just going to use a sketch. I think that's a heart showing there. Okay, so that's those three done for now. Just let those dry. And while I let them dry, I'll come back to the other one. What I'm going to do with this one. So I'm going to do a little bit more stamping over the top of that. Just using this little tape measure stamp that I have. I'll go this way. Just gives it some background. And I'll come in with my little round one. And put you there. That's there as well. Okay, so on this one as well, I wanted to do something a bit different. So I'm going to use a little stencil that I've got and just do a little bit of with modelling paste. So if you haven't heard of modelling paste, it's it can be called modelling paste or texture paste, and this one is Montmartre. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it adds texture, so it'll add dimension and texture to your piece. You can mix paint with your modelling paste as well if you like, but I'm going to colour mine afterwards. So I just want to come in with a spatula. This one might be too big. I've got a little one somewhere. Just a second, I'll be back in a second. seem to be losing everything today. Sorry guys, one of those days. I know I've got a little spatula somewhere. It's okay, I'll use this big one. So you just get your modelling paste. Not too much for this because it's only a small one. Some big and some small dots. Just gonna lay it there. Just do a little bit there like that. Yep. You see little dots on there. Cute. Then a little bit more, maybe some bigger ones down here. Okay, a couple more, I think, over here. Okay, so once again you'll need to let this dry. So I'll let that one dry and let the other ones dry, and I'll come back again and we'll finish them off. Okay, so I'm back and they're all dry, and I've been cutting out my little images already. So, and the words that I'm wanting to use. So with this one, or these ones, I've already inked up around the butterflies. I'm going to ink up my little photographs here first. Get a bit of walnut stain ink. Put that old look back into the photographs. Okay, so with her, I think this one here, I just want to sit her like that with the little rings behind her, and then she's going to have words coming down. And this one here, she's going to have just one wing behind her on this side. So I'm going to cut this one in half because I don't need the whole thing. Alright, so I'll just glue these down. This one here, I was just waiting on this to dry. Yeah, it seems to be pretty dry now. And then I just wanted to go in with some goldish coloured paint to colour these little pieces here. So I'm just going to get a tube of gold paint, and all I'm going to do is put a little bit on my finger. Whoops, got a lot on my thumb then. Just put a little bit on my finger and just rub it onto those bits, just around a little bit, and see how they look. looks nice. A little touch of gold. I might even put some, I've got some gold ink, so I might ink that up with some gold ink around the edges as well. You can just see that there. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is glue all my pieces on and then come back and show you how to finish them off. Okay, so I've finished gluing everything down into place. My little images and my words. And so what I like to do next, before I seal the whole lot, is I like to go around my words just to make them stand out a little bit more, and also my images. So first of all, with the words, I'm going to draw these little lines around, just little hand-drawn lines. Gives it a bit of a hand-drawn look, just to highlight the words. Just because I like this look, you don't have to do it. I'll be doing a lot more of these word sheets as well. I'm going to be bringing out some full A4 word sheets, some with black writing on white and some with white writing on black. So they're really fun to work with. I really love adding words to my pieces. So have a look out for those. Okay, so you can see how I've just drawn the lines around the words there with a Sharpie pen. The next thing I want to do is I want to bring out the images a little bit to stand out from the background. So I'm going to use a watercolor pencil. You could probably use a graphite pencil because they're also water soluble. Any sort of a pencil, like a watercolor pencil, or maybe a marker which is also water soluble, a black marker you could use, or dark brown. So I'm going to use the watercolor pencil with my brush marker. My brush pen, it's just a pen that I use mostly for watercolors, and you just fill the little handle. Most art stores carry these type of things. So I'm just going to draw around her with this. And I haven't actually tried this before, by the way, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Should do, because it is a watercolor. I'm sort of going to go around all the little elements. Pencil. So I'll just quickly do this. Whoops, a little bit too much water there. So now I'm going to get my black ink and go all the way around the edges. And there you have it. So these are my finished little altered playing cards. This one, and then you can cover the whole lot with some decoupage glue afterwards, or some other kind of sealer or varnish, but that's up to you. So anyway, that's just an example of what you can do with them. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and just don't forget that the printables for these, the little the butterflies, well, the butterflies are in my shop, but the little girls and the words I will have a free as a Friday freebie for you to download in my Facebook group. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.